Whether you're doing bug bounty hunting on a target or just pen testing an application, having the skills to read code and perform a secure code review would be the ultimate game changer for you. And of course, the only way to get better at something is to keep doing it again and again. Keeping all of this in mind, I've decided to launch the Secure Code Review series for beginners. But before we begin, I insist that you take a moment and drop a like and subscribe to my channel, because we don't really have a lot of resources out there when it comes to secure code reviews. And it has taken a lot of effort to put all of this together. Also, sharing this and the upcoming videos on other platforms such as Twitter, Reddit, Discord, etc. would support this series a lot. So welcome to the Secure Code Review series for beginners. I'm Muqsit, and I'll guide you through the essential techniques and methodologies required to perform and get better at secure code reviews. Whether you're a developer, a security enthusiast, a pen tester, or just someone looking to get into bug bounties, this series is for you. So what is secure code reviews? Simply put, it's the process of analyzing code and finding and fixing vulnerabilities. Think of it as a code quality check, but specifically focused on security issues. The next question you would have is why you should learn programming and get better at secure code reviews. Well, secure code reviews are an invaluable skill in today's day and age. It's useful in bug bounties because it ups your game and helps you find even more vulnerabilities, which in turn gets you more bounties. It can definitely help you find 0 days and CVs, which can be incredibly impactful in the cybersecurity community. In this series, we'll follow a straightforward methodology. Each video will focus on one bug class at a time, helping you understand different vulnerabilities thoroughly. In this series, we will focus on Python programming language because it's a versatile language which is great for beginners and it is widely used in the industry. But remember that the patterns of each vulnerabilities remain almost the same across different programming languages. Apart from my video series, if you're interested in learning more about secure code reviews, I want to share a few different resources which you could use and learn on your own. So the first thing would definitely be the code snippets which we'll be using in this video series, and I'll definitely make them available on my GitHub. Another great resource is the OWASP Secure Code Review Guide, because they dive deep into each vulnerability class and explain how these vulnerabilities are detected. You can also look at SonarSource's website for their rules, which could be your Swiss Army knife while you're performing secure code reviews. They've distributed the rules according to each language, so you can definitely go check that out. You can also keep an eye out on different CVs which come out every day and their write-ups. Apart from this, for me personally, I think the best route would be to go to GitHub and type a string such as fix for SQL injection and look at real-world examples of how people have committed fixes for, say, SQL injection in their code and how their code looked before they patched it. This would definitely give you a hands-on on how real-world code looks like. Before we dive into learning about secure code reviews, let me talk a bit about the prerequisites and methodology you need to have before you head into a secure code review. So when you're performing a secure code review, the application size could vary from business to business, and the effort required to assess these applications could also vary. So because of this, we need to have an estimate of the code base size of the application, which will help us determine our approach further. So the very first thing you need to do is to measure the effort required by considering the lines of code or LOC of the application. Next, start out by mapping out the entire business or application using a risk-based approach. It is impossible to secure everything 100%. So we prioritize based on risk and understand what the business is trying to protect. For instance, in a payment website, the credit card and user information would be paramount. Whereas on the other hand, for a promotional website, protecting the web server's credentials is crucial. Once you have the lines of code and the effort required, and if the code base is huge, start by grabbing all the low-hanging fruits you come across, like dangerous code patterns, hard-coded secrets, outdated libraries or dependencies, etc. After that, you dive deep into the application and examine all the sources and sinks, for example, or find out all the dangerous functions which exist in the application, different input fields, client-server communication. You can look for OWASP vulnerabilities if you want to take a vulnerability-based approach, configuration issues, access control, etc. One thing to note is that understanding how the application works is very crucial. Also remember that different programming languages have different vulnerabilities. So type-safe languages like C# or Java are less prone to some vulnerabilities compared to C and C++. Apart from this, I know there are a lot of Discord channels out there, but I've decided to set up my own Discord channel to discuss, share, and help each other out, whether it's secure code reviews or anything related to information security. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which hopefully should be coming out next Saturday. Again, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like on this video. Share this video on Twitter with as many people as you can, and check out the GitHub repository. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.